Ratnadeep Gopal Adivrekar, born 1974, grew up in Mumbai. He received first class in Bachelor's in Fine Arts from the revered Sir J.J. School of Arts in 1997. He is recipient of several prestigious awards like the Governor's Prize, the Harmony Award for Best Emerging Artist and Bendre Hussain Scholarship, to name a few. Amongst his important solo exhibitions include Proverbial Interventions at NUS Museum Singapore, 8 Stories in Berlin, The Golden Ear at Deutsche Oper Berlin, and Discourses of Prismatic Truths at Pavillon du Centenary Arcella Mittal Museum, Luxembourg. Ratnadeep's works evoke the idea of exploring eternal subjects like existence, death, and comprehending contrasting facets of philosophy. With a remarkable body of paintings worked upon close to 3 decades, metamodernism best describes his artistic practice, explored through his own unique visual language of abstracted thoughts and ambiguous imagery.
I love the current body of work where we think of I'll remember you from tomorrow. I love that aspect of time which is happening in your work.
For me, when I was thinking about it, according to our Eastern philosophies, we always believe the time is cyclic. We don't believe it to be linear, that once we cross a certain threshold in time, it never repeats. We always believe that things keep on repeating. And probably that was the genesis. And my previous works were like association of 2 images. If you remember,
Mirror images.
parallax views, where a lot of it was inspired by the Jain philosophy of Anekdantavad, where there's not a single truth and different angles of the same image can give you different meanings about it. In progression, I started thinking about time. Concept of time, I always believe, is absolute in a way, but also it is not the complete truth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's extremely abstract in a sense. So certain events which we feel have happened few years back, but you just remember it as if it has just happened right now. That deja vu feeling also revisiting. So those concepts were quite interesting while I was working on this series. I remember you. It's poetic and romantic in a way where you feel for someone whom you have not met, that you've always remembered that person from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it kind of originated, this thought.
As an archivist, you have been storing images in your memory. And I guess you take a look back at them and see it in a particular way.
First of all, born in a family of artists. As you know, I've been surrounded by art all the time. So there has been a barrage of images I've seen throughout my life in a way, and especially images of art, where I have seen something as a child, or after that as a student of art, and now as a practicing artist. So how these images have kind of kept on changing. It always has like a different meaning every time you look at them. Maybe some artwork or some photograph which I've seen 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and the memory associated with it at that point, and now how I'm seeing it. So I have a reference point of the image also, and also the memories which were attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that entire back and forth
Mm-hmm.
of thought process is something which it's been part of my work. As an artist, you're constantly responding to the world. I see something and what I feel about it,
and I make art out of it. My state of mind can be probably best described by little twisting of Harper Lee's quote, and it would be like, I don't love painting. One does not love breathing. In art, we have long time ago invented multiple universes. We have experimented with the possibilities and impossibilities of new perceptions, and also at the same time raised doubts about fixed subjectivity. While looking at my paintings, there are these photographic images with gestural abstraction. So there is a kind of shifting context. Gestural abstraction is characterized by lack of conscious desire, and when these images are painted and conscious thought is evaded, so these images have their own source in deeper than conscious areas of the mind.
Coming back on the subject of fluidity of time,
Time is an essential part of human experience, something that shapes our memories and connects us. But also, Nietzsche believed that the past is not set in stone. Instead, how we remember it changes every time depending on our current situations and perspectives.
I think museums are crucial in preserving the cultural heritage of humanity.
Not only preserving culture but also as a space for collective memory dedicated to interpreting artistic significance. They allow us to understand the events and the forces that have shaped our identities and communities. I believe art has to do that. There is similarity, the idea of human spirit as a museum of thoughts. Each thought is kind of an artifact, an emotional, like a piece of history, and belief is like a permanent display in our evolution. These are not random, they are carefully curated over time. Our memories could be seen as exhibits, each memory offering a glimpse into a particular moment in time. Some might be prominently displayed, while others remain tucked away in forgotten corners.
We're revisiting the works and I think of the cosmic sleep of Vishnu.
That entire narrative of Vishnu being like the preserver of time as per the Hindu mythology. He sleeps for 4 months of the year, in which he kind of dreams about our lives, what we are going to do. So similarly, when as an artist, when you're not painting, so that is the phase where everything actually comes along on the canvas in the state of subconscious. For our own purpose, we say that time goes linear and it's in a straight line. But what shape that straight line forms, that is an interesting narrative in a way.
The hands, they have always been part of your work. I mean, I've been seeing it from a series I revisited earlier. It was a painting called Three Books and No One Writes the Girl.
Yeah.
One of the where a series of hands. Then also in later part, I would see your works coming with shadows, like hands are doing shadow plays or doing some craft and activity, or maybe they are just present. It's being your signature. Like I've been observing it. I don't know if you've seen it or think about it.
As an artist, is always in the importance of hands. Probably there's one story. I was a child at that point, and this very senior artist called Tufan Rafai, he was traveling to US for an exhibition, and in those days they had to fly from Mumbai. So he was based in Ahmedabad and he had to come to Mumbai and then he had to fly. And I was a curious child and I was like, probably he had sent his paintings prior to the day he was traveling. But for me in my head it was, why isn't he carrying his paintings along with him? And I asked him that, where is your artworks? You're not taking it. And in a jest, probably as an answer to a child, or in a poetic sense, he told me that I'm taking my fingers. I'm an artist.
I'm carrying my hands.
I'm carrying my hands. So that has been like probably an important story. And as an artist, everything you do is with your hands and your fingers, and they form a very strong basis of your production in a way, or an expression in a way. So hence it has always been there in the work. It's a romantic idea that we redeem ourselves through our art, like the soul. That's where the connection between a viewer and the artist is there.